If you are new to the GPR and if you want to know how to set up a GPR system, then this video is for you. If you want to know how to take data using GPR control unit, GSSI SIR 3000, then this video is for you. Hello and welcome to my channel. Welcome to another video on GPR. So this video is a last part of three-part series where I discuss how you can set up a GPR antenna, okay, and how you can navigate through the control unit, how you can set up a 200 megahertz antenna, how you can set up a 80 megahertz antenna. So I have already discussed how you can set up a 200 megahertz antenna and 80 megahertz antenna using a GSSI SIR 3000 control unit. Okay, so if you haven't seen those videos, I'll request you to go watch those videos first. Okay, in this video, I'll be discussing the rest of the menu. I have already discussed the collect menu in that part. So rest of the menu will be discussed, and after that I'll be discussing how easily you could collect a GPR data using the control unit. Okay, what is the collect mode, what is the run setup, and why this part is important, as this is the final part of GPR data collection. So this will be the wrap up of this series where I describe how you can set up a GPR antenna. Okay, so without further discussion, let's jump into the video. In the very first part, I have discussed that in the control unit, you will be seeing four menus. Okay, what are these four menus? These are collect, playback, output, and system. Among which the collect menu is very much important for data acquisition. Okay, and that's why I made two videos dedicated to this collect menu and two videos where I discuss how you can set up 200 megahertz and 80 megahertz antenna. Now in this video, I'll be discussing how you can set up these menus are also as important as the collect menu. Okay. Collect menu is the primary one that you have to select for or you have to set up for antenna. Okay. For data collection. And but these menu are also important, not as much as collect menu, but this is also important because you have to set up these values as well, like the collect menu. Okay, so among these three, at first I'll be discussing about the system, then I'll be discussing about the playback and the output menu. Later I'll be discussing how we can collect data using control unit. Using this control unit, how you can collect the data, that will be discussed later at the end of this video. Okay, so I'll suggest you please watch the whole video to understand or get a grip how you can collect the data using control unit. Okay, so first point, as I have said, that I'll be discussing on system, and under system you will be seeing another sub menu, that is unit. You have to first set up the unit. Okay, so the vertical scale in the radiogram, this side is your offset. Okay, and this side could be your time, or this side could be your depth. Okay, so whatever you prefer, you view that. Depending on that, you can select this. How you can get depth? By using the dielectric constant. By using the dielectric constant, you can convert time into depth. So I'll suggest do this in a time scale. That's more accurate, okay? Because depth, you don't know the dielectric constant of the subsurface. So your depth will be not known to you. So it's better you use the time function, or you use the v scale or the vertical scale as time, okay? Second, you should know that the depth and distance I prefer, you can prefer foot or you can prefer meter. So you can use the drop down menu to select foot or meter. So by default, if your system is new, you'll be seeing by default there set up the system as foot. But I'll suggest do not use the foot part. Use meter instead of foot because it's the SI unit and everyone prefers the SI unit. Next point here, which is very much important, you should know why you should know about this. This does not define your acquisition, but this point will save your time, believe me. Okay, so suppose you want to survey a area for suppose you are surveying, you will be surveying for 3 to 7 days, 3 to 1 week you are surveying. Okay, and for 3 to 7 days your setup will be same. Then what you will be doing on the very first day, and I'm assuming that your system is new because I'm making this video for beginners and your system is new. I'm assuming that if your system is new, then you will set up that system. First you will be setting up the system part, like the unit will be defining, you'll be defining the unit. Then you will be setting up your collect menu. Okay, after setting up the collect menu, you can save that collect menu. You can save that collect setup. Okay, and how you'll be saving this? By using this button. By pressing this button, you'll be saving that collect setup, so that next day when you came for survey, you can only recall that setup. Okay, and you can start your survey. So it will save your time. So so when you are setting up the collect menu, that uses or that involves several like you have to press several times of up and down arrows, and it takes time. Okay, and it's kind of irritating all the time if you do that. So I will suggest you, if you set up a I mean you have set up for 200 megahertz antenna, you save that setup. There are several options, so several setup um, setup points you will get, like setup 14, like setup 15. Okay, so suppose your for 200 megahertz antenna setup is set up as setup 14. Okay, suppose your 80 megahertz antenna setup is saved as setup 15. Okay, so either you set up every time you came to the survey, or you set up your system, okay, on the very first day, and you save that. Okay, and later on the very next day you can recall the setup and you can start your survey. Now this part, this is not much important, but you should know that when you are saving your data, you have collected as data, you have taken a GPR profile, and you are trying to save that data. You save that data, and what will be the name of that data? So here, by default, it's written new. So your file name will be new file 001. First one will be .dzt. It saves as a dzt format. So that will be your data name. Now, suppose you are surveying Kolkata. Suppose you are surveying in Kolkata. So I'll suggest change this into it's very means you have to every time you have to select, like have you used any smart TV and remote? Just like that, you have to press several up and down arrow and you have to select the correct letter. And let's say Kolkata, you are defining that as coal. So your file name will be coal, KOL, then file, okay, 001 DZT. So I'll suggest it if you do every time, and if you are surveying rigorously. So when you are writing the name of the file, when you are taking the header format, as I've discussed in my past videos, okay, if you have some paper trails should be there, some paper documents will be there, that where you will be defining that that's the file name, that's the starting point, that's the ending point, and any other remarks you will be defining. So in that point, if you choose a different name, it's better. Okay, otherwise new file 001 dzt is okay. Backlight is this basically for your what this is for the brightness. Okay, so depending on your eyesight you change it. Okay, now this part date and time. So if your system is new, then you have also have to set up every time you put out your battery, you have to set up your date and time. So other than the collect menu, okay, other than the collect menu, first you have to set up the system menu also. And if your system is very new, then you must set up your date and time. So you'll be setting your date and time. Okay, then the next point, what is the next point? Next point is about battery. So if you want to, in the middle of the survey, if you want to know about what percentage of battery charge is left, okay, then you can check it by using the status point. Language, you can understand it, I am not going to discuss that. So by default language is English, and I prefer that you keep in that way. Right, okay. And if you want to see the version or about this control unit, you can click on the show button and you can see the version of this system. Okay, this point or this menu, playback menu, is for your if you want to watch the recorded data. If you want to, suppose you have recorded one data and you have seen some anomalies, you want to see that. So in the field, okay, and you don't have any system, you don't want to transfer it now to your laptop, you want to see on that control unit, then you'll be using this playback menu. In this playback menu, you will be by default you'll be selecting dielectric constant. This is only because from time to depth conversion, nothing else. And the surface you will be selecting accordingly I have discussed in the collect menu videos. Okay, this process part, I will suggest do not go for it. Watch the raw video. If you have seen any anomalies, there are some anomalies. The processing part generally does not define your output data. So your raw data would be enough to tell you about any anomaly. So I'll suggest keep it simple. If you want to see it, see the raw data. If you understand it, fine. If you don't understand it, go back to your room, or go back to your camp, okay, and you transfer your data to PC and you see it, okay, and you check that thoroughly. If you found anything, that's okay. If not, if you find anything interesting, if you want to explore that much, then you'll be doing it in the next day, okay. Don't do in the field work, okay. So this is basically simple waste of time. And when you are collecting data, I will suggest you look into the screen. So when you are collecting the data, you should look into the screen. It will give you an idea what you are collecting, okay. So last menu here among the four is the output. This is also important. How important? So you are collecting your data, okay, and you're seeing, as I've seen, you are seeing the data what's coming, okay, how much you are scanning. Suppose you are doing with 200 megahertz antenna, okay, and you are seeing it, okay, what data you are collecting. So when you are seeing it, what may happen? So there should be this is your personal uh, this should be your personal setting, okay, means what your eyesight is capable of. Depending on that, you will be setting that up. Someone prefer the seismic image kind like red and blue color structure, someone prefer the gray color structure. So that can be defined, or you can define that. I'll suggest that do not change this one, let it be. Whatever that is, let it be. Don't disturb this one, okay. Or if you want to now, for the beginners, you will not be disturbing this, but I'll suggest do this practice, okay, in the software. Means which color form, like you will be having several options. This top one is the suitable, this one is the color X form. So you will be having several options. You might have seen in some picture imaging software also, like this. So you can choose any color table, you can choose any color X form, and so you can put the value there, okay, depending on your observations. And I'll suggest first you practice in the software, then you will set up here, okay. Again, put this gain in 0, don't use any extra gain, so that it can highlight other features. So this is for your display when you are collecting your data, got it. So if you want to color display, do color display. I prefer the gray one, so I keep in a grayscale, got it. Now you have collected the data. How you will transfer the data? To transfer the data, there are three options. Not several, there are three options. One is you can collect with PC, means computer. You can connect your pen drive. There is a pen drive slot. Okay, there should be USB 2.0 slot. Okay, in the back of that control unit. Okay, and this PC can be connected with HDMI cable. They will provide the HDMI cable. The GSSI will provide you HDMI cable. The pen drive slot will be there. And other thing which I really prefer, that is you can use a SD card. You remember the SD card? It was used initially, or during our time, or you can say in the old digital camera, you will find large size uh, memory card. Those are the HD card. If you search, it is not that much rare. It's available and it's not very expensive. Okay, so I think up to 2 GB it supports. SIR 3000 only supports 2 GB. Okay, so you buy a 2 GB data, and believe me, you won't fill up. If you are serving from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., it won't fill up. Okay, so GPR data size or data volume is very low. Okay, and that's why it won't fill up your 2 GB data. So you can survey from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Suppose that's not possible. You can survey from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. It will not fill up. By walk, suppose you are not using any vehicle, by walking you are taking data, it won't fill up the memory card. Clear? So I'll suggest that put off your control unit, uh, uh, take out the HD, I mean put your control unit off, then take out the HD card, take out the SD card, okay, and you transfer the data to your laptop or to your PC, and again you put it back. After that, you will be, if you want to on the control unit, then on it. So when you are doing this transfer, or when you are taking out this HD card or SD card, you will be putting your control unit off. Okay, this point I would like to discuss with more emphasis. Like, this is the special request from me that do not use this button. Never use this button. So suppose why I'm saying you this, because I have faced this problem. Suppose you have collected one data, data number one. This is collected second data, data number two, and data number two is not good. You want to delete it. But in the field, what happened? Not you will be in the your best mind, I think. Okay, and suppose you want to delete this one, you will be deleting this one. Okay, so you have lost one good data record. I'll suggest it's better don't delete it here. If you want to delete it, copy the file to your laptop and then delete it. Other than, do not use this point. Okay, so what I have suggested here, that if you want to transfer your data, use a SD card and do not use this delete part. And never connect PC or flash, or means the pen drive with your system, because there is a risk of viruses. It can expose to the virus, computer virus, and it may corrupt your system. So do not use this. Next point is how you can collect data. You have set up your collect mode, you have set up the system, you have set up the display part, and now how you can collect GPR data. So to collect GPR data, you will be seeing several bars, okay, command bar at the bottom of the control unit if you are in collect run mode. So you can collect data using collect run mode. Okay, so let me describe what this button do actually. So run and stop, this is basically related to the transmitter. Suppose you are setting up your system and your transmitter will be, suppose your transmitter is on, so it will takes battery, huge amount of batteries. It's not a concern for 200 megahertz antenna, but it's a concern for 80 megahertz antenna. So it takes huge amount of battery charge. Okay, so I'll suggest press this one, stop the transmitter when you are setting up your system. So this is related to transmitter transmitting signal. Second mode is the collect mode. Second point in the bar, that's the collect mode, that is very important. You can take your data in collect mode. To take your data, you have to press the collect mode. Okay, to view your recorded data, you will be using the playback mode. Run setup is to take your data. That's the important button after setting up all the system. So you will be first doing. Then what you will be doing? You will be doing the system one, or you can do the system one first, then the collect menu setup. Then what you will be doing? You will be going for the run setup. Okay. When you start or when you press run setup, what will happen? The system will, there is a red green LED button in the right hand side of the panel of the control unit. Okay, so this is the display. Beside the display there is a green LED button, sorry, green LED light, and it will be beeping, it will be beeping twice. Okay, and that means you are ready to start your survey. Then you can start your survey. Then how to save your survey, how to save your data? Then after beeping it twice, you start collecting your data. You have collected your data, and after some point, your profile ends and you want to stop. So how you will stop? You will again press the run setup. Remember, so run setup button is very important. So you are, when you are in the collect mode, you will be seeing the command bar like this. Once you press the collect mode, okay, your command button will be like this, and you will be pressing the run setup button to collect a data. Okay, so again you have pressed the run setup button to save the data, and he will ask, or the system will ask, that save file number 001.dzt or new file number 11001dzt. Okay, it will ask. Okay, then you will be saying yes, don't do no. Okay, there will be options like yes or no. So you'll be selecting yes by using the left and right button on the control panel, and your data will be saved. That's easy. Okay, from here you can change your color table or color X form, as I have said. Okay, you can change it and you can look which is better for you. Okay, so, so I think I have covered the total or entire topic of the data acquisition using control unit, GSSI SIR 3000 control unit. And at the first part I have described how you can initially navigate um, through the control unit, and along with how you can set up a 200 megahertz antenna. Second part I have described how you can set up a 80 megahertz antenna. Third part I have described how you can set up the other menus, and how you can collect the GPR data. So, and on the screen you are seeing some setup. This is my for personal setup for 200 megahertz antenna. Okay, you can take a screenshot of this. Okay, so now as I've covered this antenna part, thank you for watching my videos. And in the next video, I'll be discussing about the filters. You remember I told you that I'll be discussing about FIR and IR filter. So I'll be discussing on that. Okay. So thank you very much for watching my video. Bye. See you in the next video.